Oh, come here. We haven't even started. Hi, Sarah and Arbor here today to celebrate International Pie Day, March the 14th, 3.14, with some wonderful apple pie cookies that we're going to make for Arbor here. And then we are also going to make a D&D villain based on pie, which is fun, right? Yeah? You looking forward to that part? Yeah? There's going to be fur in the cookies. And then, of course, we are going to do an Arbor ability check to see if Arbor would be able to resist one of these spells, maybe, that our D&D pie villain is going to... I just got this straight. One of the spells our D&D pie villain is going to have equipped, and then we'll cap it off, of course, with testing the cookies. That's what you're waiting for? Yeah? Okay, up, get up. No, come back. Come here. You want this? Okay, come here. Okay, so we're gonna start with prepping our ingredients. We have... Where are you going? Why do you want this so bad? For the cookies today, we are working off of the Spoiled Hounds apple pie cookie recipe. So it calls for 2 tablespoons of oil. Now it says coconut oil. I have olive oil here, which is fine for dogs in small amounts. Very high in fats, which is good in small amounts. And olive oil can change the flavor of things. So if your dog doesn't like a cookie you bake with olive oil, maybe try a different oil and see if it changes it. And then we have our Greek yogurt. Now this is half a cup of Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt is very good for dogs, again, in smaller amounts. It's got lots of probiotics. You always want to make sure you have plain yogurt because plain yogurt just has fewer sugars and additives. And you want to make sure that any yogurt you use does not have xylitol, which is an artificial sweetener that is bad, toxic for dogs. So no xylitol, plain yogurt. Greek yogurt's better because it has lower lactose. And dogs, like humans, aren't really designed to have lactose after we are babies. Come here, come chase them. Okay, but we do because it's delicious. And then we have 2 cups of oat flour. Now, you can use almost any flour. Oat flour or whole wheat flour are good for dogs because they're higher in fiber and other nutrients. But you can use a whole bunch of flours. The only one they don't really say to use is like white flour or all-purpose flour because he really wants the oil because they just have it has less nutrients in it compared to something like an oat flour or a whole wheat flour. That's a bad view. Come here, come here, come here. And then finally, to get that apple pie spicing, we have a teaspoon of ginger and half a teaspoon of cinnamon. These are both fine for dogs, again, in small amounts. You don't want to use too much of them. And don't let your dog inhale it, because just like you inhaling cinnamon or any spice would not be great for you. So not that. And then don't use any, come here, buddy. No nutmeg for dogs. It contains a toxin called myristicin. I think I'll write it on the screen for you. And that's bad for dogs. So these are our ingredients. And then we're going to have half a cup of grated apple. And you want to leave the skins on for your apple because that's where a lot of the extra fiber is. Apples are also good for dogs in small amounts. They've got high fiber, good carbohydrates. They just have a lot of sugar. So you don't want to give your dog too many apples. Okay, come here. Come here. And the recipe is super simple. It is grate apple, mix everything together, roll it out, cut it out, put it in oven. Very simple, which is what we like. Okay. Are you helping? Oh, nope. So these are also human safe, but not if you let your dog lick all the ingredients, which he's gonna try to do. Here, you one of these. What's this? No, less interest in some of the other things. And apples, you want to make sure that your dogs don't eat the apple seeds or the core. Apple seeds do contain cyanide, super duper small amounts, but they can also be a choking hazard if you have a smaller dog. Again, I'm using this tiny table because my big table has a new puzzle on it, and this makes him very mobile. It makes my life harder. Okay, but all right, he's really interested in the oil. It's a nice high fat. We'll put it up here. Pause that chaos and let him move on to some other chaos. All right, and it's now time to mix all of this together and keep Arbor away from the olive oil. But before we do, we have to add the final ingredient. Are you ready? Today's sponsor! Roll the clip! Geek Tropical is a US-based small business with over 400 amazing geeky and nerdy designs available on super soft button-up shirts like Arbor and I are wearing, or you can snag them on Hawaiian shirts, bucket hats, dresses, or even kids' Hawaiian shirts. You'll find designs for D&D dudes, science sweeties, fantasy fiends, botany bros, anime appreciators, queer queens, and more. Whatever your interest, Geek Tropical probably has a design for you. All of their designs are licensed from artists who actually get royalties for every sale of their designs. Plus, Geek Tropical has a firm no AI art stance, so you can rest assured knowing that every purchase you make will support a geeky or nerdy individual just like you. And that's not all. Geek Tropical prints to order to avoid a lot of the waste from large batch fast fashion processes. They use a trademarked, super soft, stretchy, moisture-wicking fabric, and they have over 1,500 5-star reviews. So if you'd like to join the party, use the link in the description to help support this channel, and use code ARBOR, that's ARBOR, at checkout to get 10% off your purchase. Thank you to Geek Tropical for sponsoring this video and sustainably crafting such awesome geek-tastic clothing. Thank you so much to Geek Tropical for sponsoring this video. Okay, we're ready to mix it before Arbor eats all of the olive oil. I would normally add things and then mix after each addition, but I can't do that with him around. Now, as we mix, it's time to talk about pie. Pie. Did that land upside down? No? So as we know, pi is the number 3.14, and it denotes the ratio between a circle's circumference and its diameter, the around to the across. Fun. And it's one of the most well-studied numbers in mathematics. Pi is integral to our understanding of geometry. It's probably where you know it from the whole circle thing. But it's also used in physics, astronomy, architecture, and construction. It's a vital part of a lot of construction, everything from bridges and arches to the Great Pyramids of Giza. And now pi is actually a part of Egyptian mythology. So the Egyptians believed that pi was used for creating the Great Pyramids of Giza, because the relationship between the height of the pyramids and the perimeter of the base is actually the same as a circle ratio of the circumference of the outside to the radius, the halfway across line, which is pretty cool. Hey? Yeah, you think it's cool? And pi is an irrational number, which means that it goes on forever and ever and has no repeating pattern. So it's not 3.14141414, it's 3.1459264, I think, and then it just goes on forever. And the most digits of pi ever calculated was done in 2017 by a Swiss mathematician who computed the digits of pi to 22 trillion decimal places. It took them over 100 days, which is a great use of time. Time well spent, for sure. All right, so we mixed it. It's a pretty loose looking dough, but I think it'll hold together okay enough for our cookies. And if not, we'll add more oil, probably because he ate all the oil. I find it always helps a bit to knead the dough just in case. You can always add water as well if it's not coming together to your liking. I think that'll be fine. Okay. So classic cookie rules. We are now just going to sprinkle some flour on the table and then roll our dough out on it. And while you may not have liked using pi in math class, you're actually pretty lucky that you live in the time that you do, because before pi was really a constant for people, they had to figure out other ways to figure out the circumference or the area and all that of a circle. So they would use one standard ancient method for this was to use polygons and to just keep adding sides until it got circle-like. So in ancient Greece, I think it was Archimedes, used a 96-sided polygon to sort this out. In ancient China, one mathematician used a 3,000-sided polygon to try to figure this out, and other people have used even more. So since all you had to do was push the pi button on your calculator, I think you should count yourself a little bit lucky that you live now and not then, even if you disliked having to learn pi at all. What a time to be alive. If you want to learn more about how pi is used in mathematics or other fields, the website Pieday.org actually has a ton of really good resources and some really cool graphics that help display a whole bunch of different mathematical concepts or mathematical uses of pi in really nice graphic ways, like the area of a circle or the surface area of a cylinder, or different ways to calculate the volume of solids and other mathy things. But I'm not here to teach you math things. I'm here to teach you fun facts and figure out how to use them for a D&D character. So here are some more pi fun facts, as I get this to about a 1/4 inch thickness is what it said. And then I will add it onto my lined cookie sheets here, and then it goes in the oven for 20, your nose is in the way, for 20 to 25 minutes at 350 Fahrenheit. Okay, you're being very calm. Are you mad that I took away the olive oil? Or what's this? What's this? Up here, up. What's that? I might regret letting him know about this. Okay, so one fun pi fact is that there's actually a whole language based on pi. It's called Pi-lish. The number of letters in each word corresponds to the digit of pi. So you start off with, the first word has 3 letters for 3, and then the next word has 1 letter, 0.1, and then the next one has 4 letters, 3.14, and so on and so on. And if you're really curious, a software engineer actually wrote a book on this. It is called Not a Wake, and you can read a whole book in Pi-lish, so that's fun. Yeah, oh, nope, you can't have it all. I should have left him lying down. And the pi symbol, nope, it's not trying to take some big chunks. This symbol that we know and love, it was only kind of coined or dedicated to this number in 1706 by a Welsh mathematician. Leave it alone. By Welsh mathematician William Jones. Before then, this number was referred to as the quantity which, when the diameter is multiplied by it, yields the circumference, which is too many words. It's just too many words. And though pi is much beloved by people, probably because they can just make a bunch of pies to celebrate this day, there are some mathematicians who argue that a different number or symbol, tau, should actually be, okay. Oh, well, this one's falling apart, that's fine. Should actually be what we use. Now, tau looks like this, versus pi looks like this. While this debate rages on between some scholars, it doesn't make a ton of difference in the math because tau is just 2 pi. So the numbers are mostly the same. It can increase accuracy in certain calculations. It can make things easier in certain applications where 2 pi is like a standard thing that you use. Like I believe the area of a circle is 2 pi r squared. I could be, I'll correct myself on the screen if it's wrong. So it can make it easier in some ways, but in other applications, tau is already used. The symbol tau is already used, like in physics. It's used to denote torque and time sometimes. So just making it a constant, which could add some confusion. So sound off in the comments if you have a dog in the race for the pi versus tau debate. And last fun pi fact, as I struggle with my dog, is that these number sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 does not appear in that order in pi within the first 1,000,000 digits. So you have to get over 1,000,000 digits into pi before you will find the sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is pretty fun. All right, a lot of these pie cookies are not gonna be full pie. They're definitely not tau. All right, well, it's always a good sign when he is when he's eating the dough. My dogs are not supposed to have a lot of raw flour, so I try to stop him from being too chaotic in this moment, but there's only so much I can do. And every time we've done this, he's been perfectly fine afterwards. So I think Arbor's system can handle it, but if your dog has any digestive issues with flour, definitely be very mindful of them eating anything raw. Or if you notice any funky smells, your flour's expired, just, don't use it. Okay, and now that the cookies are all cut out, I'll pop them in the oven again at 350 for 20 to 25 minutes. I'll definitely check them after 20, but I made these ones fairly thick, so it probably won't be any less time than that. Okay. Okay, and now D&D, pie villains. Yeah, are you ready? Yeah? So now that we're all cleaned up, we can move on to the D&D character inspired by pie. So I had asked a friend, a wonderfully nerdy friend, to give me some of their favorite pie fun facts, and they ended with a joke, a pie joke. It was a pirate joke. And that got me thinking about what other things you could lead in, because I was looking at like a spellcaster, and pirates and spellcasters don't go together as naturally in my head. So as I was going, pylon, python, what could I do? I got to Pied Piper. Yeah? If you don't know the story of the Pied Piper, it's the Pied Piper of Hamelin, Hamelin being a town in Lower Saxony, Germany. And the story is from 1284. And the story goes that the Pied Piper of Hamelin came to the town Hamelin that was having a big problem with rats. There were rats everywhere, and the piper was like, I can play my flute and I can get rid of them. You just have to pay me. The townspeople were like, please, please do this for us. So he does. He gets rid of the rats, and when he shows back up, the townspeople don't pay him. They don't pay him at all. And so he vows revenge. Later, coming back into the town, playing his magic flute, his magic pipes, and leading all the children away. I think it was 100 children who were never to be seen from again. So yeah, I mean, understandable that he was upset, maybe a little overreaction, so typically viewed as a villain. This story has some historical basis. The historical stories, however, don't go into that there were rats. It's just about children disappearing. So there's a bunch of theories of different scholars have, and if you want to learn that, I will link it in the description. So what would our Pied Piper be in D&D? Okay. Our Pied Piper in D&D would be a rat man, because there's a rat man species, and I thought that was just a fun little connection there. And he'd be a musician, right? So he would be a rat man bard, which is just very fun. And he'd be level 12 College of Lore. And he would, of course, have to have an instrument. So our Pied Piper had pipes. These are some little pan flute that I made for a video last year, all about, I think it was about rabbits and music. He's gonna try to eat those. But our Piper, if he's all about pie, he couldn't have a straight instrument like this. He'd have to have a round instrument. And as a former band nerd, band geek who just loved it so much and played the French horn, we could have a French horn touting Pied Piper. Now this was very hard for me to play last time, so we were gonna see, which side did I put this in? That side. Okay. Okay. Just try to remember my French horn days. This was so hard last time. That's about the response I got last time. Okay. Come here, lie down. All right, if you want to see me play this successfully, go to the other video. I will, it'll be on a card up on the top of your screen. One more try. Okay. So we'd have a round instrument like a beautiful horn. Okay. Come here. Come here, it's okay. Our Ratman Bard Pied Piper, would also have the Pipes of the Sewers, which Fabian Seacaster has in one of the later seasons of Fantasy High, and that allows him to make rats his friends. You got it? Yeah? You excited? Okay. Nope, leave it. All right, that was too exciting. Okay, ow. Down. There you go, buddy. Okay, so we've got a level 12 Ratman College of Lore Bard who has a French horn and the Pipes of the Sewers. Why don't you flop the other way? Are you tired now? Yeah? So this bard would have a lot of circular type spells to go along with pi and circles and circumference and everything. So they would have circle area of effect spells where you like pick a point and it hits a big circle, kind of like shatter. It would have sphere spells, spells that go out into a nice ball, and then also influence spells because pi is very influential in a bunch of fields. It's very important, and the Pied Piper was very influential on rats and children. There you go. So this Pied Piper Ratman Bard would also have a 5th level spell like Synaptic Static, which you kind of cast, and then people get like basically like a static-y sort of thing in their brain. It confuses them. So this would be when it casts, if it took effect, it would be like all the numbers of pi could be running through their brain all at once, which would be very upsetting and confusing. There's just too many numbers. And then it could also have Dominate Person, which is like all about influence and control. It could have a 4th level spells like Confusion, where again, you can get the numbers of pi. It'd be like the Synaptic Static, but like a bit lesser because it's a 4th level spell, not a 5th level spell. They could have Dimension Door, because that's like cutting across the diameter of a big circular space. And it could be part of the reason of how the Pied Piper was able to get away and never be seen again. It was the spell through Dimension Door, where you can transport, I believe it's up to 500 feet away. So nice straight line, diameter of a real big circle. And then lower level spells, you'd have things like Shatter, like I mentioned, Silence, you know, because bards and Pied Piper playing music and trying to call for help and not being able to call for help because you're trapped in a sphere of silence, all that fun stuff. Calm Emotions, because you would be able to calm that dissidence. Any sort of someone trying to talk back to you, you could calm emotions of all the people who think that Tau should be in instead of Pi. It'd be a great time. It'd be a great time. And then the College of Lore Bards also get 2 spells from other classes, as long as they are 6th level, or no, 3rd level and below, I think, at this point, because you're like 6th level when you get this ability. So I said Spike Growth, because it makes difficult terrain, so you can't be followed, very Pied Piper. And also, it's a bunch of cones that come up out of the ground, and cones, anything sort of round, deals with pi. And trying to make that shape. If you go to piday.org, you can actually see some fun, cool graphics about cones. So, Spike Growth, Danger Cones. And then, of course, you need it if you're a spellcaster and you want to talk about big spheres of stuff, Fireball. So you can have Fireball as a beautiful spell that we could add to our Pi Bard. I wanted to do the Hunger of Hadar, which is like creepy monster tentacles that come from a different plane, but it's a Warlock spell and I wasn't allowed to choose it on D&D Beyond, so I didn't choose it. But if I could have, I would have, because it is a cool spell and I want to use it so bad. And then 6th level, we get 1 6th level spell at a 12th level bard, and I need your help because there's 2 that I'm really torn between for a couple of reasons. So we could use Mass Suggestion, because you get to suggest to a number of creatures and get them to kind of follow your whims for a short period of time. This would be great for getting a bunch of people to follow you or stop attacking you. Get all those people saying Tau to stop fighting you on it. You could make people believe that it's actually better now that we get to use pi instead of having to find all those polygons. It's a whole thing, a bunch of influence with Mass Suggestion. Or we could have Otto's Irresistible Dance, which is just such a silly spell, and I love it so much, and it goes along really well with the Pied Piper. Playing music, making people dance, they can't resist your music. You could also then restrict people put a bit of flavor on this spell, of only doing circular dance moves, you know? So you could do things like pirouettes and cartwheels, so you're going in that round motion. Why? Why do you hate dancing? Why are you the town in Footloose? You could have people do things like churn and butter, you know? There's so many dance moves that are circular focused, so it could be a really funny flavor. So let me know in the comments what you think should be the 6th level spell for our Ratman Pied Piper Bard, if they should have Otto's Irresistible Dance or Mass Suggestion. Both would have some pretty fun effects, both can be pretty powerful spells. One is just a lot sillier than the other. And I mean, if we're not playing D&D to have fun, what are we doing? Okay, it's time to take the cookies out. Nope, nope, you can't bite me during this. Sir, thank you, over here. Okay. Oh, they look a little crispy on the edges. I think it's fine, especially since they're all vastly different thicknesses. Ha ha ha. Okay, and now, while we wait for them to cool, what do you think? Should we do the Arbor ability check? Yeah? Okay, all right, yep. All right, that's a positive chomp. Arbor ability check. Okay, so we are gonna check today if Arbor would be able to deal with our Ratman Bard, our Pied, oh, all right, good job. Oh. Our Pied Piper, over here, come here. Come here. Okay, just take a break for 5 minutes, okay? You're very committed to your job and I appreciate it. I gotta get through the preamble, okay? So we made our Ratman Pied Piper College of Lore Bard, who is 12th level, who has the spell Synaptic Static. So we are going to roll to see if Arbor would be able to resist Synaptic Static. And we are using our big die that Arbor can't eat, and we're rolling in our Bunch of Crows rolling tray, which you can get online in our Etsy, which is great. They're all felt backed. Most of them don't have this much fur on them, unless you also have a big furry dog. Or if you want one of these snazzy bandanas that we are wearing, also a bunch of crows. So, while he busies himself with that for a second, Synaptic Static is a 5th level enchantment spell. It has a range of 120 feet, and you choose a point within range and cause psychic energy to explode from there. Each creature in a 20-foot radius sphere, you know, pie, spheres. Ready? Catch. You thought this way? No. No, it's not nothing. So creatures in a 20-foot radius sphere do have to make an intelligence saving throw against all this psychic energy. So they have to succeed or else take 8d6 psychic damage, which is so much, especially for us low-level creatures. Or if they save, they get only half of that. So, you know, still very terrifying. So if they fail their save, the target has muddled thoughts for 1 whole minute, which, if you know D&D, combat's about 6 seconds, so that is a really long time if you can't break out of this. They roll a d6 and subtract the number rolled from attack rolls and ability checks, as well as constitution saving throws to maintain concentration on their spells. But the target can make an intelligence saving throw at the end of each of its turns to end the effect if they get a success. So, pretty effective spell if the person fails and can't get past that DC. So for our level 12 bard, the DC is a 15, the difficulty check that Arbor has to get past. And with Arbor's intelligence, as we figured out when we did all of his stats, he has a +0 to intelligence. So Arbor has to roll a 15 or higher on this die in order to beat this DC. What do you think, bud? Can you do it? Up, okay, up, 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 up. Is there a protest? Okay, Arbor, so you have to get a 15 or higher. 15 is that one, okay? Can you get a 15 or higher on this roll to pass Synaptic Static? Ready? Catch. Oh, good catch. Okay, can you roll? Oh, you gotta roll in the tray. Okay, here. Oh, good job. Okay. Hold. Drop. Drop. Hold. Okay, drop. Drop. Oh no. All right, so Arbor gets a 6, which is that's not quite gonna get you there. Oh, do you need advantage? Okay, all right. All right, you're gonna have advantage. Ready? Catch. Okay. Okay, drop. Oh, okay, so if Arbor had advantage, he would get a 17. So if he had advantage, he passes. If he has a flat roll, he doesn't pass. If he has disadvantage, he doesn't pass. That's okay, you know? Passing in any respect when you have to roll a 15 or higher and you have nothing to add to it, it's not bad. It's a good job. It's a good job. Yeah. No, no, sir, sir. Excuse you. Okay, buddy, it's time to test. Are you ready? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, very excited to try these cookies. This one. Okay, wanna try? Being held on by probably a dog hair. Oh, so messy. So much dog hair. Here. Making a mess on my carpet. Seems to be a success though. Seems to like them as much as he liked eating the raw dough. So that's always good. That's always a plus. Okay, is it good? Pie-tastic? We're gonna go with pie-tastic, I think. That's a good adjective for today. Thank you so much for joining us and sticking out till the end to see our pie cookies, our D&D villain. Please let me know your thoughts on the villain or the recipe, or if you try any of it at home. If you try out my pie bard, that would be hilarious. And I would love to know how it went and if you TPK'd your party or if you just had a fun time. or if the villain was super easy to smash. Well, let me know your thoughts on mass suggestion versus Otto's irresistible dance. If you have any other science or mathematics concepts or constants or things like that that you would like to see made into a villain, I'm very excited to keep doing this series. So let me know in the comments, and please make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Oh, that was so close. You take it away? Is that yours now?